Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our program, Tuesday with Kai. Okay, once again, I am Dr. Carl Lundina. And, yeah, hello sa mga viewers natin, no? Especially that tonight we are live stream in our YouTube, no? So you can visit our YouTube channel, Carl Lundina. Okay, so for the past few weeks or few episode, we focus on the life coaching because this is the very purpose of our program to educate people what life coaching we are facing problem, no? When we are ayan, good morning, good evening everyone, no? So yan, tuloy tayo, no? We are in Philippines kasi kaya medyo self-worth, self, how are we going to identify our worth, no? Kasi minsan kasi there are instances na hindi natin alam kung ano yung worth natin. You know, most of the time, we always seek validation. We mirror ourselves in our surrounding, we mirror ourselves in our community. And and we are depending sometimes or very much dependent as to the what other are saying or ano yung expectation nila sa atin most of the time. That's the reason why we are trying our best to be the best person that we can, simply because, you know, we don't want that others might be disappointed towards us. And beside that, that's the limit of the society. That's what the standard of the society. We always, or most of the time, we're trying to conform. Trying to conform. And yeah, we are trying to uh, believe, and yeah, we just go with the flow because we don't want to be, you know, stress. Ang tawag doon. We don't want na may sulit tayo, no? Or we don't want na isabotage tayo, or we don't want na mapalayo tayo with others, with other people. Ayan, good evening pala to may banggitang classmate, Kernel Seguido. Sir, isabota sa internet. So, masubila. Yeah, by the way, sa viewers natin, no, we are on live stream sa YouTube. We're trying to connect, no? Yeah. Yeah, we try to conform with the society because sometimes that's what we need. Conformity. Eh, normal because we are social being. We need each other. And for us to know where are we or what are we doing, we need others to validate. Kailangan natin yung iba. Kung ano masasabi nila somehow. But then sometimes because of that, we tend to forget who we are. The inner self. Because we always try to blend with the society. We always try to push ourselves towards the standards set by the society to the extent that we forget who we are. We forget, we try to set aside what we want. Kung ano mo talagang gusto natin sometime. And because of that, we just go with the flow. We limit ourselves to what the expectation of others. May mga gusto tayo sa buhay minsan that we tend to set aside because what we see, or it's not appropriate to the society. Because the moment we debate, society will devalue us. And the moment that society or the people in your environment devalue you, you will feel worthless. Sa Tagalog pa, mararamdaman mo na wala kang kwenta. If that's the case, well, that would be the beginning of your self-crisis. Because that's the time that you will feel yourself that you are worthless. Walang kwenta, kumbaga. But then, how are we going to determine our worth? And I asked my client here, do you know your worth? They can't answer because sometimes they cannot quantify what is worth all about. Most of us try to equate a worth based on what we have or based on what we do. Anong profession natin, ano yung meron tayo, and that's their gauge of what is worth about. Kung professional ka ba, or yung ano bang profession mo, or ano ba yung mga property na meron ka, mayaman ka ba o hindi, that's their gauge of worth. But actually, worth is the self-worth that I'm referring to is within ourselves. It doesn't matter kung ano yung profession natin. It doesn't matter kung anong katayuan natin sa buhay. The worth is within ourselves. We believe and what are our capability and our goal, or what we put um what tawag doon, how we portray ourselves. Kasi minsan kasi meron kasi mga tinatawag na mga limiting belief na tinatawag na despite na ganito ka, yet you devalue yourself because you don't know your worth. We don't know our worth. Simply because we contain ourselves within the four corners. Yung sabi nila, within the box. And maybe because that's what society believe over us. Or yun na rin of doing that simply because ito lang kaya ko. Kaya nga, I still remember when I was, I was still a child. Every time na may nakita ko na mga yun na from a poor family, let's say, binal natin. And then makita ng mga mayayaman o mga anak ng mayaman, they don't want their child to mingle with them. Kasi ang sinasabi, yung poor family, sabihin natin. Kasi sabihin niya na wag kang sumama dyan kasi mahirap lang tayo. So mahirap lang tayo, mayaman na mga yan. So, hindi tayo pwedeng makimingle sa kanila. So from that perspective alone, na-inculcate sa bata, ganito pala, pag mahirap ka lang. Hindi ka pwedeng tumama sa mayaman. Because mayaman sila, mahirap ka lang. And eventually, that kind of thinking, nadadala ng tao yan hanggang sa paglaki. That's the reason why even though naging professional na, even though naging maayos ng buhay, still, nandun pa rin yung feeling that you're not allowed to blend this kind of person. Because ganito ka lang. Because ganyan ka lang. You're not allowed to blend with them. So in the first place, you don't know your worth. Paano ba natin malaman kung anong worth natin? Well, of course, we are old naman. May mga bata ba ito? Meron naman siguro. First and foremost, we have to identify ourselves. We have to know ourselves. Kilalanin natin ang sarili natin. It's not based on the no ourselves. For us to know our worth, ano ba yung capacity natin? Ano ba yung capability natin? And ano ba yung kaya nating gawin o kaya nating ibigay in order to achieve. Kasi sometimes that's the reason why nagiging nalilimit yung sarili natin simply because we always bring our past. Kaya may kanta nga na, let's not bring the past back anymore. Ano ba yung title nun? The past. No? Yeah, because if we keep on doing that, the tendency is that we cannot move on. Will not grow. Okay lang for those person na maganda yung past. Okay lang for those person na okay yung family, walang problema. Sabihin natin kung may mga problema, at least kahit pa paano, hindi naman ganun ka lala, no? Mayaman, yung parents, they're supportive, no? And they are doing their best for their children. Okay yun, kasi wala naman problema kung ganun. What if kung galing ka sa pamilya na medyo problemado? Sabihin na natin, broken family, let's say. So, how do you see yourself? Paano mo titingnan yung sarili mo? Based on your perspective and not based on others' perspective. That's the question. Shout out daw kay RP Abu-Abu. One of my students. Yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah. Tanaw mo sa akong YouTube one. Naka-live stream ko sa YouTube. Yeah. let's try to take a look at that perspective. Tingnan natin. Tingnan natin kung how we're going to see ourselves based on perspective. And never mind kung ano yung mga nakaraan or especially pagdating sa pamilya. Kasi minsan nga, as I said, those are the hindrances for us to grow. Because, nade-develop na yung tinatawag na limiting belief. Kaya minsan, doon nade-develop ang tinatawag na inferiority complex. Bakit yung ibang kakapal mukha? Ako masyado mahihain. Well, I tell you, di yan makapal mukha. They are just confident. And ikaw naman, di ka mayain. There is something inside of you. Even myself, I have that kind of, I don't know, less socialized even before because I grew up alone in an island. Independent, independent-minded, and yeah, not that particular on the perspective of the society. Kasi karamihan kasi sa atin, very particular on the perspective of others. No? Palaging takot kung anong sasabihin ng iba. Simply because you grow up in a community. Well, sa my case naman, I consider it sometime, but hindi ganon kalala. Because if I want to do something which I think there's a purpose, then I am doing it without an interference or without thinking what others, no? O ano yung sasabihin nila. It's because na-develop yun sa akin. Kaya nga, kung minsan, if I talk to someone, kasi yung natuturo, I keep on telling that do not limit yourself. Do not limit yourself na hanggang dyan ka lang. Just explore. Okay? Just believe on yourself. Because the moment you do that, you can always achieve what you want in life. For as long as you know your worth, alam mo kung anong meron ka, alam mo yung capability mo, whatever you do, you can do. You can achieve everything that you want. Of course, it will undergo process. No? It's not overnight, of course. But if you believe on yourself, you can always do what you want. Just know lang kung ano yung worth mo. And for you to do that, you need deep reflection about yourself. You need to give time for yourself. And you have to talk to yourself. Maybe not literally. Kasi mahirap naman pag kinausap mong sarili mo na makita ka, baka ano pa masabi sa'yo. Ang impression. What I'm trying to say is that internally, you have to talk to yourself. What do you want? What are you capable of? What are your visions? And to what extent ang kaya mong gawin just to achieve that vision. Yun ang pinaka-crucial part. Kasi in short, ano ang kaya mong isacrifice? And that's the hardest part for sure. Ano yung kaya mong sacrifice just to achieve your vision or your goal. It's not easy, of course. But then if you have that vision, if you know your worth, alam mo sa sarili mo na kaya mo, and gusto mo, everything will be possible. For as long as Alam mo lang yung worth. Don't let others define you. Yeah, because basically people will just talk to based on their perspective. They're talking based on the reality and not yours. Kasi pag sasabihin, especially pag matanda na sa'yo, sasabihin na, di yan pwede kasi ganito, ganyan. Experience ko na yan. Well, maybe, on their part, that it did not work kasi hindi rin yung para sa kanila, but it's different naman in your case. Kasi ibang scenario naman yun. Well, it's not bad person naman to listen to the suggestion, especially for those my experience na it's a bad person, of course. Sometimes or most of the time nakakatulong naman yan. But then, upon listening them, you have to listen to yourself. So, ano ba talaga? Kaya mo ba? Is it what you want? Yan ba ang nasa heart mo? Kayang-kaya mo ba yan? Because if that's the case, then go ahead. If that's how you define yourself, go ahead. If you believe yourself that you're worthy, then go ahead. If others thinking a view that you are worthless, just let them think. But do not let yourself to be trapped on believing that you are worthless. You are very worthy by all means. Just believe in yourself. Do not let others define for you. Because at the end of the day, it's you. You will define for yourself. And that's the important thing. As long as you know yourself, you know what you're doing, just go ahead. Hindi ka talaga mawawala dyan for sure. Yeah, of course, along the way, may roller coaster nga, kumbaga. But for sure, you will achieve what you want. Hi, good evening, Bon. Thank you for watching, Bon. You will achieve. It's not easy, of course. Sabi nga nila, ang mahirap daw na daan, may saying na yan, ay tungo sa tagumpay. I forgot that saying. But then, what I'm trying to emphasize that the more na mahirap yan, so the more na asahan mo that there's something beyond. Kasi kung napakadali yan, well, we don't know. It might be a trap or whatever. Or if ever na ma-achieve mo naman, not that worthy or you're not that proud. Kasi iba talaga yung pinagdaanan mo talaga nahirapan. So that's why if others are thinking that you're worthless, just let them think. Don't allow it to happen to you. Ang importante is, ikaw sa sarili mo, alam mo kung ano ang worth mo. Alam mo kung saan. I-define mo yan for yourself. And don't let others define it for you. Because if that's the case, well, you might be in trouble, let's say. So, yan. So, yan. Good evening sa tanan, no? Thank you for watching, no? Yan. Good evening, Amores, no? Mga nagpa-shout out. Thank you for watching. So, I hope you've learned something about self-worth and I hope you can apply that in your own. So, if you have some concerned about it, may kakilala kayo na in need of guidance, you can visit our page, no? Carl Rondina Research and Life Coaching Services, or you can visit our office here located at Tugbok, Proper, Davao City. Okay? Once again, thank you very much for watching. See you next Tuesday, every 8 o'clock in the evening. So, sa mga nanonood sa ating live stream, no? Thank you, and good evening everyone.